The moment I looked over, she dragged the razor blade across her own wrist. "I'm about to die," she said, her voice flat. "You can live with the regret. But if you wanted me to feel regret, why were you the one cutting yourself? You've been reading too many of those dark romance novels, haven't you?" Her name is Chloe. We've been together for 3 years. She's beautiful and she's kind. Our wedding is in 3 months. She loves to read, and sometimes I'll catch a glimpse of the titles on her Kindle. Stuff like After I Died, he left his first love to weep at my grave. I saw that one and couldn't help but snort. Seriously, who writes this crap? Are they out of their minds? You couldn't get what you wanted when you were alive, so you're counting on getting it after you're dead? You know those books are completely unrealistic, I'd said, leaning over her shoulder. What's so unrealistic about it? She'd shot back. Don't you have a first love? That one that got away? Would you abandon her for me? The one that got away? I guess I did have one. She was my high school lab partner. We spent 3 amazing years sitting side by side. We've been friends since we were kids, long before that. I just assumed we'd end up at the same college. The night after graduation, I had it all planned out. I'd filled a small notebook with a rambling, heartfelt confession. I had flowers and a gift I'd spent weeks picking out. Instead, she walked right past me, threw herself into the arms of some older guy, and they started making out. Then she got into his car, and it peeled out in the direction of the hotels downtown. Later that night, she posted a selfie from a king-size bed. Flushed face, messy hair, and a single red stain on the white sheets. The caption, 3 years of repression, finally letting loose tonight. It was a public post on her Instagram. The guy she was with? She'd told me he was her uncle. Turns out she just meant he was some old dude. A sugar daddy. Just like that, the perfect girl I had on a pedestal. She'd just been tarnished. And then, somehow, we ended up at the same university. We talked about where we were applying, and I deliberately avoided the schools on her list. But there she was on move-in day. The sugar daddy was gone, replaced by a different guy, this one in a tailored suit, looking sharp and mature. "This is Chad," she said. "He's a senior. This is my old high school friend, Ethan." A quick, dismissive introduction. "I thought you were aiming for a better school," I said flatly. She gave me a mocking look. "What a shame. Looks like we're stuck with each other again." She took Chad's arm and sauntered off. I heard her say, "Let's just go to the hotel, Chad. I can't wait for tonight." I felt my lip twitch. I wanted to scream something, but I held it in. That night, my phone buzzed with a text from her. Tonight's senior was pretty impressive. Lasted 31 minutes. He got me there 3 times. "See for yourself," she sent next. It was a picture. Her, lying in a hotel bed, face flushed, looking ecstatic. "You're telling me that story about your first love again," Chloe says, interrupting my thoughts. "I don't think she was your white moonlight. She sounded more like a black hole that sucked all the light out of your world." I just shake my head. To this day, I still don't fully understand what she was doing. Our connection never really broke. College was big, but our world was small. So small that one day, I ran into her 3 separate times. Not in the dining hall, not in a lecture, not in the library. Just randomly, on the paths crisscrossing campus. "Well, look at you, old friend. We meet again," she'd said. "We didn't even see each other this often senior year. Are you following me? If you have a crush on me, just say it." Too bad, though. Chad and I have a date tonight. We're going for a new record. She always talked to me with this blunt, shocking honesty that made me want to punch a wall until my knuckles bled. "Hope your technique is improving," I said coolly, pretending to be unfazed as I turned and walked away. But my stomach was in knots. The first girl you ever really fall for builds a fortress around your heart. From a distance, you see her face on the walls. When you get closer, it's still her. And if you ever want to leave, you have to go through her. I knew it wasn't real love, not anymore, but I couldn't help it. She was the first one there, and she was blocking the exit. Later that night, another picture message. The same pose. Post-sex victorious. One more to go, for the record. It was amazing. I feel like I could fly. Jealous? Don't you wish this was you? Her tone was pure provocation. I bite my lip, my fist clenched, a dull ache spreading through my chest. All I ever did was like you. Why you have to keep hurting me like this? To escape the feeling, I started dating. I had to get over her, break down that wall, so I could finally get out. I'm not a bad-looking guy. A week later, I had a new girl by my side. She was sweet, had a great figure, curvy in all the right places. And it was her first real relationship. Things heated up fast. In less than 10 days, we were checking into a motel for some deep connection of our own. But I didn't take any pictures. I just wanted to enjoy the moment. I had no interest in sending a highlight reel to my ex-crush. After that night, we were even closer. We held hands walking across the quad, stole kisses in the woods by the campus lake. We were just another anonymous couple in the university's sea of love stories. But then, of course, Ava saw us. She stormed right up to us, her finger pointing. Disgusting, she spat, glaring at me and my girlfriend. I'm warning you. Break up. Now, or I'll make your lives a living hell. Honey, who is she? My girlfriend whispered, pressing closer to me. Why does she think she can tell us to break up? Ignore her, I said. Let's just keep kissing. I think she's just jealous. I pulled my girlfriend tighter and kissed her again, right there in front of Ava. Ava completely lost it. Ethan Vance, you've got a lot of nerve. You just wait. This isn't over. And she meant it. That night, she went back to Chad, the senior. Then, in the middle of the night, she sent me a video. It was her and Chad going at it. A frantic, almost violent video. I had no idea why she would send me something like that. Her text followed. See this? This is me and Chad. We're tearing each other apart. You see? All you can do is watch. You'll never have this. Her tone was mocking, but underneath it, I sensed a frantic, desperate energy. I didn't get it. It was like she was performing for me. She didn't look like she was enjoying herself, but she was hell-bent on making sure I saw it. Why? If she actually liked me, she would have been with me from the start, not throwing her relationships with other guys in my face. And if she hated me, well, that made more sense. Both this and her confronting me on campus seemed like things you do to someone you despised. But what did I ever do to make her hate me so much? That's what I couldn't figure out. So you're saying your first love? Ava, she did all these bizarre things. Chloe asks, chewing on her lip as she processes my story. I just didn't understand it, I say, shaking my head. So, with your new girlfriend, what was your record? Chloe asks suddenly. 3. Maybe 4 times in one night. I say quickly. We were young, 20 years old, full of energy. Oh, Chloe says, rolling her eyes dramatically. And now I'm lucky if I get it once every 2 days. I really met you at the wrong time in your life. I flush, embarrassed. It's not my fault. People get older. Some things are out of my control. Anyway, let me get back to the story, I say, clearing my throat. I think I left off after I started dating my new girlfriend, and Ava got furious and said she wouldn't let it go. Sending me that video with Chad, though, didn't have the effect she wanted. In fact, I called my girlfriend over and we watched it together. I don't think she likes that guy, Chad, my girlfriend said. Why? I looked at the screen, but all I saw were 2 people in a clumsy, aggressive tangle. My girlfriend blushed. The way she's making noise. It doesn't sound real. It feels forced. And look at her body language. It looks like she's cooperating, but she doesn't seem to be enjoying it at all. When a woman really likes someone, her body doesn't move like that. She finished, her face bright red. So you're saying? I started, a slow grin spreading across my face. When we're together, your movements are full of enjoyment. Of course they are, she said, playfully swatting my arm. But there's something I want to say, I just don't know how. What is it? You can tell me anything, I said, pulling her close. She hesitated. She's in love with you. What? I stared at her, completely blindsided by her conclusion. I think. Maybe you should just block her number, my girlfriend said seriously. I know you 2 grew up together, but the way she's acting, it makes me feel really insecure. Okay, I said, nodding. You're right. I decided to listen to her. Ava was with other people. There was no future for us. It wasn't worth destroying my current relationship over her drama. But I had no idea that one simple act, blocking her number, would trigger such an explosive reaction. The next day, Ava attacked my girlfriend. She found her outside the library, clawing at her face, leaving deep scratches. She ripped out clumps of her hair, tore her shirt open, and someone even took pictures and posted them online. Ava even posted a video herself. The caption, dealing with a homewrecker. She deserved it. My girlfriend came to me, sobbing in my arms for what felt like hours. I'm going to find her. How dare she do this to you? I said, trying to comfort her. I'll make her pay. But my girlfriend just shook her head and gently pushed me away. Maybe we're not right for each other. She gave me one last, soft kiss and turned and walked away. I knew it was all because of Ava. Furious, I hunted her down on campus. When is it going to be enough? I screamed, grabbing her by the collar of her shirt. What did my girlfriend ever do to you? Why would you bully her like that? You're yelling at me? Ava's eyes widened in disbelief. Ethan Vance, you're actually yelling at me. So what if I hit her? Are you going to have me arrested? She shrieked. Then she wrenched herself free and stormed off. A short while later, I got a call from the campus police to come down to the station. When I got there, I saw her sitting in a chair, staring at me with cold, defiant eyes. She says she assaulted your girlfriend and wants to turn herself in, the officer explained. But we can't get in touch with your girlfriend. We can't just detain someone without a statement from the victim. Can you get her to come down here? She's my ex-girlfriend now, I said, and I can't reach her. Oh, the officer was clearly not expecting that. He paused. Well, in that case, you two could just go home. Oomph. Ava sneered as she stood up. I wanted to go to jail, and your precious ex-girlfriend wouldn't even give me the chance. She's pathetic. She walked over to me, her hand reaching for my arm before stopping midair. She gave me a look of disgust. I already dumped the senior, she announced. But I'll find a new boyfriend soon. And you, in my eyes, will always be the pathetic man who could never have my love. And I will never let you have a girlfriend, she said, her voice dripping with menace. Anytime you get one, I'll be there to destroy it. Have you lost your mind? I finally snapped. We're not even together. What right do you have to control my life? I don't care, I just will. It's your fault for making me so angry, she yelled. Making her angry? I stood there, stunned, racking my brain. I had no idea what I'd ever done to make her angry. Even now, I say, looking at Chloe, I still don't know what I did to set her off. Do you know? I ask her. Girls are supposed to be able to empathize with each other, to understand these subtle things. I have a vague feeling, Chloe says, shaking her head, but I can't quite grasp the core of it. But really, girls as toxic as your Ava are pretty rare. Why did you ever put her on a pedestal in the first place? Chloe doesn't get it either. And what happened next? I understood even less. After Ava and I had our blow-up, my roommate asked me what was going on. Why did my girlfriend break up with me? He suggested I should just get with Ava and get it over with. Stop her from pulling any more crazy stunts. I actually considered it. Maybe that was the only way. Maybe I had to get inside her world to figure out what the hell she was thinking. So, I asked her to meet me. I even bought a bouquet of flowers and rehearsed a whole speech. No matter what had happened, she still held a certain place in my heart. Being with her for real. It wouldn't be the fantasy I'd once had. It would be twisted and painful. But at least it would be a kind of closure, a fulfillment of that old high school dream. Ethan, what do you want? She asked, looking from me to the flowers in my hand, a cold smirk playing on her lips. I think there are things that need to be said. Honestly, I was going to tell you how I felt on graduation night. I began, looking her straight in the eye, trying to pour all my old feelings into my voice. I didn't expect what happened that night. She cut me off with a look of pure contempt. You just want to get in my pants. Dream on. I will never let you get on top of me. Not ever. Her rejection was absolute. That's not it, I said. I don't just want to sleep with you. And I don't really want to say this, but I have to be honest. In my eyes, you're already dirty. Her head snapped up, her eyes filled with a searing hatred. And whose fault is that? She screamed, then turned and ran, her sobs echoing behind her. Go after her, man. My roommate, who was hiding nearby to give me backup, hissed. She's vulnerable. Now's your chance to lock it down. Right. I took off after her, catching her by the arm and pulling her into my arms, crushing my mouth against hers. The second our lips met, she went still. No struggling, no screaming, no anger. She just stared at me, her eyes wide with a complex, struggling expression. But my heart, I whispered against her lips, still has you in it. She mumbled, her head bowed. I could feel her body going limp in my arms. I knew in that moment, I had her. I want you. Forever, I said, scooping her up and carrying her toward the woods by the lake. It was the most secluded spot on campus, a place where couples went for a bit of privacy and thrill-seeking. I kissed her as we went, and there, in that secluded spot, we had sex. It wasn't that I didn't want to go to a hotel, but I knew her emotional state was fragile. This was the moment. If we went to a hotel, she might change her mind, and all my effort would be wasted. I had to conquer her fast. Be my girlfriend. Please. I asked afterward. She looked up at me, rolling her eyes. Didn't you say I was dirty? I'm not clean either. I laughed. I've had a girlfriend, remember? Her expression started to darken again, but I quickly kissed her, holding her tight. Luckily, she was still in that relaxed, post-coital state and didn't explode with rage like I knew she could. Fine. I forgive you, she finally said. You're better than the senior, and definitely better than the uncle. You're like a real man. She licked her lips, clearly satisfied with my performance. Next time we'll go to a hotel, I said, tilting her chin up with a grin. I'll be even better. Walk me back to my dorm, she said. I took her hand, and we walked to the entrance of the women's residence hall. New boyfriend? Her roommate asked, looking at me curiously. No, not new, Ava said. He's an old one. Oh, the old one. He looks decent enough, her roommate said, sizing me up without any obvious judgment. See you tomorrow, I said, waving as she disappeared inside. I turned and walked back to my own dorm. The second I was through the door, my roommates swarmed me. So, you sealed the deal. What was it like? Yeah, I did, I said with a nod. I didn't want to get into the details. I'd won, I guess, but I still felt this complicated barrier between us. It wasn't just that I called her dirty, not her body anyway. It was her behavior, the way she deliberately hurt my ex-girlfriend, all those things I couldn't understand. That's what felt tainted. Well, she's hot. I'll give her that. No wonder so many guys were after her, one roommate said. Yeah, but everyone says she has a terrible temper. My friend knows Chad, the senior she was with. He said she was a nightmare to date. Chad wanted to break up with her ages ago, my roommate continued, but she just wouldn't let him go. My roommates kept sharing gossip, and I was surprised. I had no idea about any of this. You don't know Chad, but my buddy does. That's how I heard. One of them explained. It's fine, I said with a slight smile. Being with her is just, well, you guys know. I'll let the sentence hang, not want to talk about it anymore. The beginning of our relationship was okay. We go to a hotel every few days. She was always the one to initiate it. And once we were there, it was a relentless, all-night demand for more. Every time I left the hotel with her, I felt like I'd lost 5 pounds. After a few weeks, I couldn't keep up. Even for a 20-year-old, her appetite was overwhelming. I started to wonder if she had some kind of addiction, like those women you read about online who become insatiable in their 30s and 40s. If I hadn't known her my whole life, I would have sworn she was lying about her age. You didn't try hard enough this time, she said, looking at me with disdain after one of our sessions. I can't feel your sincerity. I really did try, I said, exhausted. Maybe I'm just not feeling my best today. I don't see it. I feel like you're just going through the motions, she commanded. I'm giving you one more chance, and I expect you to not just phone it in. Every time it was like this. Her tone was like a queen commanding a servant. I was there to serve her, to give her my absolute all. This time, I tried with everything I had, but she still wasn't satisfied. You're a huge disappointment, she said, getting dressed and storming out. But I gave it everything. I didn't understand what she wanted from me. Watching her leave, I actually felt a pang of guilt. Maybe it's me. Maybe I really can't do it. But no, that wasn't right. I was fine. I just didn't understand why my best effort was never enough for her. I threw on my clothes and ran out after her, wanting to talk to figure it out. But she just turned and looked at me with a cold sneer. You're pathetic. Stop following me, she yelled. We're over. Her voice was loud, deliberately drawing attention. You're pathetic. You can't even make me happy in bed. How am I supposed to love you? A small crowd was gathering. People were starting to snicker. I stood there mortified. I never imagined she would break up with me so publicly, so cruelly. What? Did you not hear me? She shouted, noticing someone filming on their phone. She raised her voice even louder. You can't get it up. You're pathetic, and we're broken up. A pathetic loser who's useless in bed. Fine. We're done, I said. There was no point in arguing. I stared at her for a few seconds, then turned and walked away. A few hours later, just as I'd expected, the video of my public humiliation was all over the campus gossip blog. I'd gone viral, but in the worst way possible. I holed up in my dorm room, not wanting to see anyone. Dude, I get it. Don't let it get to you, my roommate said, trying to console me. Just ignore it. There's no point trying to explain something like this. It's not that, I said. I'm just trying to figure out why. Why would she do that to me? The public mockery stung, but the real pain came from not understanding her motive. Women, man. You can't figure them out, he said, launching into a rant. Haven't you seen the stuff online? The way their minds work. Who knows what they want? They want you to guess everything. And some of them love to read this stuff, these dark romance novels. You know the craziest trope? The guy loves her, so he torments her. He ruins her family, pretends he doesn't love her, and then after she's gone, he only dates women who look just like her. Like, what kind of psycho logic is that? Torment the one you love, and then when you've driven her to her death, you go looking for a replacement? The people who write that stuff, and the people who read it. I think they're all a little nuts. Hearing him say that, something clicked in my brain. A flicker of understanding. To escape the drama, I took a few days off and went home. I just needed some peace and quiet. I went hiking, took pictures of mountains and rivers, and posted them on my Instagram, trying to project an aura of calm indifference. Honey, I heard what happened, my mom said. Don't take it to heart. That girl. You two grew up together. You really don't know. Know what? We've known each other forever, but I never noticed anything different about her. Oh, you boys, she sighed. You just don't see these things. Well, I'm not getting involved. But maybe her breaking up with you isn't such a bad thing. She shook her head, leaving things unsaid. At this point in the story, I look up at Chloe. So what do you think? I ask her, what was going on in her head? What goes on in a woman's head? Honestly, I'm more interested in that book your roommate was talking about, Chloe says. I think I've read one like that. I thought it was a great story. So memorable, so profound. Okay, I say, nodding slowly. I get it now. The gap between how men and women see the world was vast. We could look at the same story and see two completely different things. So what happened in the end? Chloe asks, her curiosity piqued. What was the end of your story with her? Well, I say, my mind going back to Ava. After our breakup, I took that trip. She, apparently, was furious about it. She didn't call me, but my roommate told me she was all over the campus forums and social media, trashing me, saying I was heartless, that I had no love in me, that I had the nerve to go on vacation right after she dumped me, showing absolutely no remorse. My roommate told me she even stood outside the guy's dorm and screamed my name, yelling the most horrible things. It seemed like everything I did, or didn't do, sent her into a rage. Ethan, you kind of went too far this time, my roommate had said over the phone. I know, I'd replied. Next time I post, I'll block her. And all of you too, so nobody can forward it to her. After a few days of tirades, she seemed to run out of steam and went quiet for a while. I went back to school and tried to focus on my classes, keeping as much distance from her as possible. Whatever she was doing, whoever she was dating, she wasn't sending me updates anymore. She clearly figured out that it didn't hurt me. Sometime later, I tried dating again. The moment I did, she got angry. I didn't hear it from her directly, but the news reached me through other people. As revenge, she started dating a new guy. This one was a terrible choice, a guy on a work-study scholarship, kind of nerdy and awkward-looking. But she paraded him around campus, holding his hand, acting proud. Finally, she sent me one last video from her bed, this time with him. The text message that came with it read, "Even a poor student can satisfy me. But you can't." Seeing it, I just smiled faintly. It had lost all its power. "Send whatever you want," I texted back. "I'll just watch it like a porno. Don't worry, I won't share it. That's illegal. Ethan Vance, you are a heartless bastard." She replied instantly. I could feel the rage radiating from the screen. She was at her absolute limit. Not long after, she beat up the work-study guy and dumped him. Then she found me. She just stood there, staring at me with a look of desperate, venomous hatred. "You're going to lose me," she whispered. "Forever." She turned, went back to her dorm, packed her things, and left school. A few days later, her parents showed up on campus and found me. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" her mother hissed. "You have completely and utterly broken our daughter's heart. She's at home, won't leave her room. She has severe depression now." Her father slapped me across the face. Then her mother slapped my other cheek. What was I supposed to do? I asked, holding my stinging face and looking at them. Before I even got the chance to tell her I loved her, she was with that older guy. When I finally got up the nerve to pursue her, she played games with me, then dumped me in front of everyone, telling them I was bad in bed. I tried. I really tried. But I still have no idea what she wants from me. "She doesn't tell you, so you can't be bothered to figure it out?" her mother said, her voice dripping with ice. "If you can't even guess what's wrong, then what right do you have to love her?" It was as if everything, every single thing, was my fault. "I can't guess," I said quietly. I truly couldn't. A week later, I got the news. She had killed herself. When I heard it, my mind went blank. She'd cut her wrists. Blood everywhere. And right before she died, she'd made one last post on Instagram. "I'm dying. Haha, Ethan Vance. Bet you never thought I'd do something like this. I'm about to die. You can live with the regret." Her tone was so final. Suddenly, everyone was messaging me, asking me what I'd done to her. How had I hurt her so badly that she would kill herself and use her last words to call out my name? I told them I didn't know. I rushed home. The way my own parents looked at me was different. "Do you know what you've done?" "Everyone out there is saying you killed her," my dad said. "You two knew each other your whole lives. We all thought you'd end up together. How did it come to this? What are you going to say to her parents?" "I don't know," I said, my voice hollow. Even now, I don't know how I wronged her. I was completely lost. Her parents came to see me one last time. They didn't say anything, didn't yell. They just handed me a folded piece of paper. "She left this for you." After handing it to me, they turned and left. I unfolded the note. As I read the words, I finally understood. "In junior year, that one time, you want to get lunch. You brought a sandwich back from Megan Foster before you brought one back for me. I hate you. I will hate you for my entire life. Why did you get hers first and not mine? I thought you would figure out what you did wrong. But you never did. You never even tried to make up for it. Now I'm dead, so you can regret it. I want you to regret this for the rest of your life." Reading it, I was speechless. Megan Foster? I vaguely remembered her. But getting someone a sandwich. It was such a small, thoughtless thing. You're going to hold on to that your whole life? Why didn't you just say something then? If you never told me, how was I supposed to know? "So," Chloe asks, looking at me intently, "do you regret it?" I shake my head. I can't, because even now, I still don't know what I did wrong. I still think getting someone a sandwich is just getting someone a sandwich. Nothing more. Yes, that's what I still believe.